my people, it's me Anja, welcome back to my channel and welcome to a new video. So today's video is focusing on my favorite middle grade fantasies, which you know because you've read the title. But this video was inspired by the fact that about 2 months ago, I think, I did a video called my favorite middle grade book series, and on that video so many people commented that they were trying to get more into middle grade, so I am here to provide my favorite middle grade fantasies. So yay. The first book on this list, or rather it's a book series, so probably I could have included it in that previous video that I referenced, but it's not a completed book series yet. So anyway, it is Lulu Shaw written by Roshani, Chokshi, and fun fact, I'm filming this video the same day that Roshani's book, the sequel to The Gilded Wolves, comes out. So fun fact about my filming and how far in advance I am filming. But anyway, Lulu Shaw is this middle grade fantasy book series, and it follows 12-year-old Lulu Shaw. I've said her name about 15 times now. Anyway, she accidentally flees a sleeper, which is this ancient demon whose duty it is to awaken the god of destruction. So big oops on Lulu's part. But anyway, this series is so good. The fourth and final book in the series comes out in January, I think, or maybe February of 2021, and I'm so excited for it. And if you've been keeping up with my channel for a minute, you would know that Lulu Shaw book 3 was one of my most anticipated 2020 releases. So of course the fourth and final book of the series is one of my most anticipated 2021 books. But anyway, Lulu Shaw is so good. I love the plot, I love the characters, I love the plot twists, I love the world building. So many people compare this book series to Percy Jackson, and I've said this before, but I think that this series is superior to Percy Jackson. And I'm not just saying this because this series is female driven. This series is just so good, and I just absolutely loved it. The humor, the writing, like everything about this series is just so good, and it's just like so good. And maybe I think it's better than Percy Jackson because I didn't read Percy Jackson when I was 12 like everybody else. But also I read Lulu Shaw in the years that the books were coming out, and I'm 19 now, so I'll be 20 when I read Lulu Shaw book 4, and I think that I will absolutely love it just as much as other 12-year-olds, you know? So anyway, I don't think that statement has anything to do with my age. Maybe it's just because these books are superior and this series is just so good, so please read it. The next book on this list is called The Magnificent Monsters of Cedar Street, written by Rowan Oliver. This book is so good. It's about monsters of all kinds and a girl brave enough to save them. I really enjoy this book. I've read other books by Rowan Oliver, but I believe that this is the first middle grade book that I've ever read by her, I think. I don't know. But anyway, this book is so good. I read it earlier this year, I believe, so I'll leave that recent reads video in the description below. It is so good. I love it when fantasy authors introduce their own fictional creatures or monsters that they have added to their own fictional world. I feel like sometimes in fantasy worlds, the creatures that exist in that world are creatures that other people have created, like unicorns and dragons and mermaids and stuff, like the typical fantastical creatures that you've already heard of and you already have at least minimal knowledge of before reading that series. But Rowan Oliver created her own animals and her own monsters, which I think is just so cool. And in addition to her lovely world building, the plot and the characters of this story were so absolutely lovely, and I just really enjoyed this story. And I think that it's rather underrated, and I know that it's a 2020 release, but still, it's just so good, and more people should read it. The next book on this list is called Litmancy Win by J.A. White. This follows Cordelia, who's at a new school, and she finds out that there are ghosts at her school, and she wants to know why and how to flee them. And she discovers that not every student can see the ghosts, so that's fun. I really enjoy this book because I really like the world building. I like the friend group that's in it. It has a good like core friend group in it, and there are no like romantic relationships between any of the friends in the friend group, which I think is really rare, but like maybe it's just me. So that's fun. And I read the sequel to this book pretty recently, and this series is just so good. I don't know how many books are in this series, but I'm just so excited for what else J.A. White has to offer, because this series is so good. His world building, his plot twist, his character development, it's just so good, and the series is so underrated, and it's just so good. So please read it. I love books that are set at school. I love like academic settings, and honestly I was debating titling this video what to read instead of Harry Potter, but I'm not about that like clout clickbait type of like booktube channel. So anyway, please read this series, it's so good. The next book on this list is called The Trials of Morrigan, which is the first book in the Nevermoor series written by Jessica Townsend. This series is so good. It follows Morrigan, who would have thought, and how she escapes death, and then she is swept up into a magical world and tested beyond her wildest imagination. I really enjoy this series because I love the world building, I love the plot, I love the characters. I feel like I've said the same thing about each book series on this list, but like this series is just so good. The world building is like so whimsical and wonderful. I have yet to read Horrorpox when I'm filming this video because it hasn't come out yet, but that's the third book in this series, and I'm so excited for it. Again, I don't know exactly how many books Jessica has planned for this series, but she has so much potential that she could literally make this series 7 books or 10 books or 8 books or 5 books or how many that she wants, because this series is so good. It's so whimsical, it's so magical, and I really enjoyed it, and I hope that other people will as well. The next book on this list is called The Mystic School of Musicraft, written by Jessica Khoury. This is another book that I think I read earlier this year, and it was so good. So I'll link that recent reads video in the description below. I think I read it at like the beginning of March or something. Anyway, that's not the point. This follows Amelia, who attends a boarding school in which she has to learn how to create magic from music, which is so cool. That's such a unique idea, and the world building and the plot and the characters blended so well together, and I really enjoyed it. Like I mentioned before, I love academic school settings, and I love unique world building. With fantasy, there's so much potential, yet since I read so much fantasy, there's so many stories that sound so similar to other stories that I've already read, but this story, the world building was truly unique, and it was done so well. I really enjoyed the characters and the plot and absolutely every single element of the story. It was so well done. I don't actually know if there are any sequels to this book, but if there are, I will gladly read them. The next book is called Tilly and the Bookwanderers, written by Anna James. This book is so good. Basically, it follows Tilly, who discovers that she has the ability to walk into books and also bring book characters into the real world, and she uses this ability to discover what happened to her missing mom all those years ago. This book is so good. The ability to walk into books and bring book characters into the real world with you is such an absolutely amazing skill that all book lovers would love to have. And the actual like world building in this story was so good. The sequel to this book is one of my favorite sequels of 2020 thus far, which says a lot because I read lots of sequels, which you guys all know if you keep up with my recent reads videos. But anyway, this series is so good. The world building, the plot twists, the characters, the character development, the friendships. This story is so good, and it deserves all of its hype and so much more. Again, I don't know how many books are in the series or how many books the author has planned, because the author has so much potential with this world building that she could literally make so much stuff out of this world, and it's absolutely so good. So please read it, because it's absolutely so good, and I'm so excited to see what will happen next in more books to come. The last book on this list is called Secrets of the Wild Realm, written by Alexandra. This book is so good. It's one of my favorite books of 2020, which says a lot, because I have maybe 12 or 13 5-star books thus far in 2020, but I'm filming this in the middle of September, so that will probably change by the time that you watch this video. Anyway, this follows Bryn, who's always wanted to become a seeker, but she can't, because in her village, seekers have always ever been boys, and she's a girl. So this book was so good. It was absolutely so empowering and absolutely so lovely. I love dragon fantasies, and I think that dragon fantasies are so underrated despite the love for them. Like, I feel like dragon fantasies are one of those things in the book genre that everybody loves, yet so few people actually write about, you know? Anyway, this story is so good. It's absolutely lovely. I don't know actually whether or not it's a standalone or if there are sequels, but anyway, this book is just so good. I'll leave down below the recent reads video where I talked about it for the first time, but anyway, this series is just so good. The world building, the character development, the plot was just so good, and it was just absolutely lovely, and it deserved its 5 stars. And yeah, I would just recommend it to anybody who loves a good, empowering, lovely dragon fantasy. So in conclusion, I would recommend all of these books, and I hope that this video encourages more people to read more middle grade. If I've mentioned any of these books previously in recent reads videos, I will leave said videos in the description below. So yeah, with that, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't hesitate to give it a big thumbs up. Comment down below your favorite middle grade fantasies. If you've read any of these books specifically, let me know what you think. So yeah, thanks for watching, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!